Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, a wildfire emergency in Southern California. The mountain fire exploding in size. Over 200 structures destroyed or damaged, thousands more at risk, and more than 14,000 people under evacuation orders.
It's like trying to put out a blowtorch with a squirt gun.
Crews racing to save people trapped by the flames. Matt Gutman on the scene out west. And Sam Champion is tracking the dangerous conditions fueling the fire.
The Trump transition. The president-elect names his White House chief of staff. This morning, more on Susie Wiles, her history with the GOP. The woman making history, who Trump calls the Ice Maiden, and moving to execute his plan to crack down on illegal immigration, launching mass deportations on day one. What Trump said about the cost, as Russian President Vladimir Putin congratulates Trump and says a new world order is forming.
ABC News exclusive. Sources saying one of Trump's top lawyers was hacked by Chinese spies. The investigation this morning.
Prince William calls this year the hardest one of his life after his wife Kate and father King Charles were diagnosed with cancer. We'll tell you what else the royal is saying this morning. Lucky to be alive. A highway worker narrowly avoids getting hit by a truck. What he's saying about the near miss only on GMA.
It's not too late. With 20 days until Thanksgiving, the Points Guy is here live to help save on your last-minute getaway and the dates to avoid when planning your Christmas trip.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, America. Thank you for joining us this morning.
And a lot of people have joined us right outside our window. We've got a great crowd in Times Square on this Friday morning. 47 degrees. And they're there from Atlanta, from Houston. And Michael, you went out and had a little hello this morning.
Yeah, I had to. Got all the great women's group there from Atlanta. And then we have two friends who are here, 85 years old, and they've been friends since 8th grade.
Oh,
that
wow.
is adorable.
Yeah,
We love
really
that.
New York. We've got a busy morning ahead. We're going to begin with that wildfire emergency in Southern California. The fire exploded to more than 20,000 acres.
More than 200 homes and buildings have been damaged or destroyed, and thousands of people are ordered to evacuate. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman is in the fire zone in Ventura County for us. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. The only way to really grapple with the scale of the devastation in this neighborhood is to drive through it. And these houses incinerated like matchsticks, one after the other on this street. So quickly that at one point firefighters realized they could not save the homes anymore and had to focus solely on saving human lives. And it worked. No fatalities reported so far.
This morning, Ventura County under a state of emergency as the so-called mountain fire west of Los Angeles exploded in size.
The fire is still very dangerous. The winds have not completely deceased.
The mountain fire growing to over 20,000 acres in just 36 hours. Lower winds late Thursday allowing firefighters and fleets of helicopters to pour resources on hotspots.
You see this helicopter trying to put out that spot fire. It is flying incredibly low, just about 30 or 40 feet off the deck. And it's being buffeted by the wind. They're trying to help out the hundreds of firefighters on the ground here in Ventura County, California. The embers are flying. Weather conditions, however, expected to improve here.
But at one point early on, the fire turbocharged by hurricane-force Santa Ana winds, burning 2,000 acres an hour.
It's like trying to put out a blowtorch with a squirt gun.
Reports of people trapped, inundating police scanners.
I'm up here with them, trying to get them out, but it's heavily impacted by fire at this time. We're going to have numerous fatalities in here if we don't have companies engaged.
Over 200 structures, mostly homes, destroyed or damaged, thousands more at risk. And more than 14,000 people under evacuation orders. Thursday, residents like Sandra Lafredo still unable to comprehend all she's lost.
It's like I'm still numb. I haven't cried yet. I thought when I see this, I'm going to cry, but I'm not. I'm just like in survival mode. Like just find something that survived, anything.
Now, when we came to this house, we met a woman who said that she had also lost her house to a fire in Paradise, California, 6 years ago, a devastating fire. And now she doesn't know where she's going to go. Firefighters tell us that at this point, the wind has laid down. There has been no forward progress. At least that's good news for some. Michael.
Yeah, that's some good news in such a bad, devastating situation there, Matt. Thank you so much for that. We're going to bring in Sam Champion, who's in for Ginger. He's tracking the fire danger. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Michael. Those images out of California, crazy, but so much of the country is dry, and I want to also talk about a brand new fire that erupted overnight within view of New York City. So we've got a lot of problems to talk about. Let's get to California first, because what Matt just showed you is horrifying. But the only good news I have for you here is that these winds are coming down as we go through the day today. So no more of those 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts for a little while. We're down now within kind of tolerable situation. That red flag warnings continue until about 11 o'clock Pacific time. Now, look at this. 52% of the country is in drought. About 6 states have big, large fires going. I want to show you into the Northeast here, and this is that brand new fire that just popped up overnight within shot of New York City. If you've ever been to New York, that's the George Washington Bridge. You probably came across it to visit the city, and you can see the fires. This is Newscopter 7 from WABC over the fires. You can see them just kind of scattered on these cliffs. Now, this is going to continue for a while, almost 40 days without rain, and we have a chance for a sprinkle coming up Sunday night into Monday. George?
Okay, Sam, thanks. We're getting the latest now on the Trump transition. President-elect announces campaign manager Susie Wiles will become his chief of staff. He also pledged to crack down on illegal immigration immediately. Rachel Scott is in West Palm Beach. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. Donald Trump making his first major decision as president-elect, selecting Susie Wiles to become his chief of staff. She's a longtime Republican advisor that has been quietly working on his campaign for 4 years, but it's hard to find anyone who was more critical to the success of his third bid for the White House than Susie Wiles. This morning, Donald Trump is hitting the ground running for his second term, officially announcing Susie Wiles, his campaign co-chair, as his White House chief of staff.
Susie likes to stay sort of in the back, let me tell you. The ice baby, we call her the ice baby.
Wiles will be the first female White House chief of staff in U.S. history. Trump praising her as tough, smart, innovative, and universally admired and respected. Wiles, the daughter of NFL player and sportscaster Pat Summerall, has been a powerful GOP advisor for years, credited with helping getting Florida Republicans like Senator Rick Scott and Governor Ron DeSantis elected in 2018. DeSantis fired her, and she would later go on to lead Trump's campaign to defeat him in the primary. Wiles is known for running a tight ship, staying out of the spotlight, striking a balance of letting Trump be Trump, but steering the campaign back to focus on the issues: economy, inflation, and immigration. Trump's team already moving quickly to execute his day one priority, a crackdown on illegal immigration, focusing on how to immediately launch Trump's key campaign pledge: mass deportations of the estimated 12 million undocumented immigrants. According to some experts, mass deportations could cost an estimated $88 billion a year and send inflation spiking as millions of workers are removed from the workforce. But Trump dismissing any cost concerns, saying there's no choice, adding in an interview, "They're not staying here. There is no price tag." At the White House, President Biden pledging a smooth transition.
On January 20th, we'll have a peaceful transfer of power here in America.
After Democrats crushing defeat across the country, Biden urging supporters to accept the results and move forward.
We accept the choice the country made. I've said many times, you can't love your country only when you win.
The White House insisting the president does not regret his decision to step aside or that he did it so late in the campaign. The president offering only praise for his vice president.
She gave her whole heart and effort, and she and her entire team should be proud of the campaign they ran.
And of course, President-elect Donald Trump expected to travel to Washington to meet with President Biden at the White House in the coming days. As President-elect Donald Trump, of course, also entitled to receive classified intelligence briefings. And this morning, we are told that as part of this agreement to accept this role as chief of staff, Susie Wiles wanted to make certain that she could still play the role of gatekeeper, keeping some oversight over who has control or who is going into the Oval Office, trying to avoid some of the chaos that we saw in the first administration, George.
And Rachel, we're seeing a group of Democratic governors mobilize. They're saying they're trying to Trump-proof their states.
Yeah, Donald Trump has not been sworn in yet into office, but already you have a handful of Democratic governors that are really trying to brace for any potential policies of a Trump administration. So California Governor Gavin Newsom, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker saying they are ready to call lawmakers back into a special session, trying to safeguard any type of curtail against reproductive rights, gun reform, and also any environmental regulations, George.
Okay, Rachel, thanks. Rebecca?
All right, George, thank you. We turn now to sources telling ABC News that Chinese spies hacked into the cell phone of one of Trump's top attorneys. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky, is here with the details. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Rebecca. This hack helps illustrate just how far Chinese spies will go to eavesdrop on prominent American officials and people closely tied to them. Multiple sources tell ABC News hackers working for China's intelligence service broke into a phone belonging to Trump's lead criminal defense attorney Todd Blanche. The sources say the Chinese hackers gained access to Blanche's text messages, even captured audio recordings of some of his calls. Most of them were told were with family and friends, but the FBI is now working to determine whether more sensitive communications were also compromised. Blanche was targeted as part of a sweeping Chinese cyber espionage campaign that, as ABC News has previously reported, also attempted to hack phones used by Trump himself, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, and people affiliated with the Harris campaign. The hackers infiltrated U.S. telecommunications firms Verizon, Lumen, and AT&T, pursuing American secrets that could help China gain economic, military advantage over the United States. And this morning, George, at least one government agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, is telling employees they should only communicate non-public information using Microsoft Teams or Cisco WebEx. George, stay off the phones.
Yeah, there's a real threat out there. We're going to turn now to the reaction around the world to Donald Trump's victory. Vladimir Putin is among the global leaders congratulating the president-elect as speculation grows about how Trump will handle issues like Ukraine. Chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell is tracking the latest from London. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, George. You can almost be forgiven for thinking Donald Trump was already in office, judging by the amount of international attention he's getting. He's spoken to around 70 world leaders, but conspicuously missing from that list is Vladimir Putin. The Russian leader giving a major speech overnight, sounding upbeat in the wake of Trump's victory. The Russian president claiming a new world order is now taking shape. Putin congratulating Trump, though, saying he's ready to meet the president-elect, also praising his response to that attempted assassination, saying he was courageous and a real man. Trump, of course, has committed to ending the Ukraine war, the haggling already begun, but Zelensky saying it's unacceptable to make concessions to Russia in exchange for a potential peace deal. Trump also, of course, promising to bring peace to the Middle East, but I think his victory is likely to be seen by Israel as a green light to continue its wars. And last, but certainly not least, is China. Trade and Taiwan stand as thorny issues. Xi Jinping calling Trump and telling him that the US and China gain from cooperation, lose from confrontation. But Trump's campaign promises seem to make confrontation all the more likely. Michael.
All right, Ian, thank you so much for that. I'm going to turn now to breaking news overnight from Philadelphia about a potential strike that would bring mass transit in the city to a halt. Stephanie Ramos is in Philly with the latest. Good morning, Stephanie.
Michael, good morning. A strike avoided for now. SEPTA and the Transport Workers Union Local 234, which represents more than 5,000 SEPTA workers, agreeing to continue talks after the contract agreement between the two entities ended at midnight last night. Here's what the president of the union said in a statement overnight. We're willing to go the extra mile and grant additional time to reach a fair agreement. However, let me be clear, if SEPTA's managers fail to meet our demands, we will be on the picket line. Now, if the union were to strike, about 5,300 transit workers would take to the picket lines, bringing mass transit in Philadelphia to a halt, while also affecting commuters in South Jersey and Wilmington, Delaware. Here's what employees are fighting for: better wages, with safety and security issues at the center of their concerns. They're asking for bulletproof vests, bulletproof enclosures for operators, and more police presence, citing ongoing violence in the city. It is unclear how long a strike could last, but commuters are breathing a sigh of relief this morning as this strike has been avoided for now, George.
Thank goodness for that. Okay, Stephanie, we're going to turn now to the investigation over alarming racist text messages sent in more than a dozen states. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has the story. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. It's a mystery as to who sent those racist text messages to people around the nation in recent days. Authorities in more than a dozen states say residents, including children, received texts from unknown numbers telling them they've been selected to, quote, pick cotton. Sam Burwell in Virginia got one and says he was shocked to see the sender knew his name. Mr. Burwell is an African American, as are many of the other victims. His text reading, "Be ready at 12 p.m. sharp with your belongings. Our executive slaves will come get you in a brown van. Be prepared to be searched down once you enter the plantation. You're in Plantation Group W." The sender's numbers were visible, and the New York Attorney General says some of the texts were targeting middle school, high school, and college students. The company TextNow, a service that allows people to create phone numbers for free, says it's aware of the messages and that it has shut down the accounts of those involved. Law enforcement is investigating, but it's not clear if the source is domestic or foreign. Rebecca?
All right, Pierre, thank you for your reporting on that. We turn now to an ABC News exclusive with the highway worker who narrowly avoided being hit by an oncoming box truck. Trevor Ault is here with the story. Incredibly troubling, scary images there. Trevor, good morning.
Good morning, Rebecca. You know, we often see signs about traffic fines doubling in work zones because crashes like these can be really dangerous. And this morning, we're hearing from that road worker who narrowly avoided disaster.
Watch the dramatic moment a truck narrowly misses a road worker on a New York highway.
I looked out at the right time and got out of there at the right time.
61-year-old Chuck Ellerson tells ABC News in an exclusive interview how he averted what could have been a tragedy.
I tried to get out of the way the best I can. I thought for sure it's close enough to where it would have done a lot more than what it did.
Ellerson is a highway maintenance worker. He says he'd been collecting trash on that road when a box truck darted in his direction.
Next thing I know, I said, this guy's not going to miss me.
Dash cam video from one of the two work vehicles shows the truck crashing into the work area, demolishing one of the vehicles. Ellerson narrowly escaping uninjured.
I dived into the ditch a little bit and grabbed my hard hat, put it back on, and sat there and tried to catch my senses for a long time.
The Department of Transportation tells ABC News New York State Police are investigating the incident and tweeted, "Our highway workers put their lives on the line every day to keep New York roads safe. And this recent crash on I-81 near Whitney Point is a frightening reminder of the dangers they face."
Look, it's horrifying. Their job is to make sure that the roads and bridges in our state are safe so that everybody can use them.
And last year, the New York Department of Transportation reported more than 200 work zone intrusions. They've since made some changes like adding work zone cameras to try to detect speeding. But drivers really have to pay attention, move over, and slow down, guys.
Okay, Trevor, thank you. Coming up, charges in the investigation into the death of One Direction star Liam Payne.
And the points guy is here with last-minute savings on Thanksgiving escapes.
Christmas is less than 7 weeks away, and this morning, we have got the right stuff to upgrade your tree. We'll be right back. Welcome back to GMA. Can you believe it's been 30 years since we were introduced to the Lion King? And some great news this morning. We have an exclusive first look at the trailer for Mufasa, the Lion King. Or Mufasa the Lion King, if you want to say it like that.
I want more of that Mufasa.
Maybe you can get the job on the next sequel. It's not bad.
George, anything's possible. and on top of it, the movie stars. They're going to join us live. That's all coming up in our next hour.
Right now, we're following a lot of headlines, including the state of emergency out west. The mountain fire grew to over 20,000 acres in just 36 hours. Over 200 structures, mostly homes, have been destroyed or damaged this morning. Thousands more are at risk, and more than 14,000 people are under evacuation orders. Also right now, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates again, this time lowering the rate by 1/4 point compared to 1/2 point last time. That typically leads to lower borrowing costs, including on credit cards, bills, and car loans. The move was widely expected as inflation has moved towards the Fed's target.
And the Baltimore Ravens held on for a thrilling win over rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals. Lamar Jackson threw his 4th touchdown pass of the game with under 2 minutes left to take the lead. Pressure. And he faced it well.
Yes, he did.
And we've got a lot more ahead, including where you can find your last-minute savings on Thanksgiving escapes and Christmas flights. The points guy is here, and that is coming up, George.
Right now, new developments in the death of One Direction singer Liam Payne. 3 people have been charged in Argentina. Eva Pilgrim, here are the details. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, George. Family, friends, and investigators still have a lot of questions about what was going on in the days and hours before Liam Payne died. This morning, they're getting some answers.
All my life, you stood by me.
This morning, 3 people now facing charges related to the death of former One Direction singer Liam Payne.
Tenemos un huésped que está sobrepasado de droga y alcohol. Cuando está consciente, está rompiendo toda la habitación.
Officials charged a hotel employee, a drug supplier, and one of Payne's friends. According to prosecutors, one hotel employee is accused of supplying Payne with cocaine twice during his hotel stay. Another person accused of supplying drugs to the singer twice during his time in Argentina. And the third, prosecutors say, was with the pop star every day while he was in Buenos Aires, is charged with abandoning a person following death. The pop star fell from the 3rd floor balcony of his hotel room in Argentina last month. A toxicology report showing Payne had alcohol, cocaine, and a prescription antidepressant in his system. Prosecutors ruling out self-harm of any kind, stating the singer was not fully conscious or was experiencing a state of noticeable decrease or loss of consciousness at the time of the fall.
The story of my life.
The arrests come after sources tell ABC News 9 raids were conducted earlier this week, which included the homes of 2 hotel employees, 2 escorts, and one of the singer's friends. Authorities seizing potential evidence including cell phones, marijuana, 1 hard drive, and 3 laptops. Payne's father leaving Argentina Wednesday, flying back to the UK with his son's body.
And this has been what you can only imagine was an excruciating process for Payne's father to bring his son home. The family now preparing for his funeral, guys.
Just something no family should have to or wants to go through. Eva, thank you.
Prince William speaking about what he called a brutal year after both his wife, Princess Kate, and father, King Charles, were diagnosed with cancer. Rhiannon Alley has the story. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Michael. It's pretty unusual to hear Prince William talking so openly about personal matters, but he opened up to reporters about what he and his family have been through this year. He had been very tight-lipped until now.
This morning, Prince William speaking candidly about the past year, calling it brutal, probably the hardest year of his life. Both his father and his wife were diagnosed with cancer and underwent treatment, his wife Kate recently finishing chemotherapy. The prince opening up to reporters during his trip to South Africa, saying, "I'm so proud of my wife. I'm proud of my father for handling the things that they have done." Adding, "But from a personal family point of view, it's been brutal." William speaking about Kate earlier in the trip.
She's doing really well, and hopefully she's watching tonight and so cheering me on. But no, she's been amazing this whole year, and I know she'll be really keen to see it tonight be a success.
He was in South Africa this past week to promote the Earthshot Awards, the environmental prize he created to help save the planet.
And some more good news from the palace this morning, announcing that Kate will attend 2 events this weekend, both of them honoring veterans in the UK, something we know is very important to the royals. So we will see the princess back in action alongside William and the king, both on Saturday and Sunday. So we love to see that.
Yeah, we'd love to see them all back together out there and all healthy. All right, Rhiannon, thank you so much for that. With just 20 days until Thanksgiving, and if you haven't booked your plans yet, have we got some deals for you. Brian Kelly, the founder and CEO of The Points Guy, is here with tips to save big on last-minute flights to everywhere from domestic to international dream destination. Brian, great to have you here. We love a deal. You know we love a deal. So where can people escape for less over the Thanksgiving holiday?
Well, the good news is there are a lot of deals this year, especially internationally. So, and this year it probably is going to be the busiest holiday travel season ever. We were up 9% going into the month, and since the election, we've seen a huge spike in people looking to get away. And I can tell anyone who's going through a hard time.
In the last 2 days?
Yeah, there's been a huge spike in interest. We'll see if that actually materializes. But I think, with the economy pretty resilient, people are going to be traveling. So here are some great deals. If you want a nice holiday beach getaway, Cayman Islands. I was actually the first place I ever redeemed points in the 90s to go. $330 from New York City. Great little getaway. But if you want to go a little further, I love Japan, and Tokyo is an amazing year-round destination. November, December can be a little chilly, but just pack a coat. But under $800 we're seeing for Tokyo. And for West Coasters who want to get away and a little bit of adventure, under $350 to go to Costa Rica, which is a great adventure destination. Some new luxury resorts have opened up there, so lots of different options out there.
How about U.S. trips?
There are actually a lot of great U.S. fares. Denver, Boston for around $200. And even for New Yorkers who want to get away to Miami, you would think that might be crazy expensive. less than $150 to get to Miami. So the deals are out there. Don't assume all is lost less than 3 weeks away.
We like that. How about Thanksgiving weekend?
You can actually still get away that weekend. Of course, Wednesday to Sunday is the most expensive time to travel. But what I recommend, there's so many deals out there, you have to learn how to hunt for them. So Google Flights is your friend. So google.com/flights. You don't actually book through Google Flights, but it'll search all the different airlines. And they now have Southwest Airlines is included in the results. So use Google Flights, and of course I'm the points guy. Use your points too. There's actually a lot of different ways. The airlines are opening up more seats than ever. I use a tool called point.me. It'll actually tell you if you have credit card points, where to transfer them to get the most value.
And I know we've been talking about Thanksgiving, but what about booking travel for Christmas?
Yeah,
let's move ahead a little bit.
We're just over
Christmas.
6 weeks away from Christmas, almost 7 weeks away.
But can you save money with like 6 or 7 weeks to go?
You can actually.
Or
So
are there more
6
deals
weeks
or not?
is a sweet spot domestically. International travel, you want to book 3 months plus, but these are just rough rules. So whenever you hear people say, don't say, oh, well, there's no more deals left. A lot of times airlines will still open up seats last minute, even the week of. If you find out you can get off work, don't just assume it's going to be ridiculously expensive. Google Flights actually has an Explore map too. I highly recommend people use this. So if you know the dates you can get away, you can just put New York to the Caribbean. And it'll show you a map of all Caribbean islands, and you can just choose the one that has the cheapest flight.
Any other tips?
Yeah, so here's a tip. Get to the airport early. Airlines have delays. We've had the Christmas meltdown, but I made a really big mistake recently, and I need everyone to learn from it. When the airline updates their app that it's delayed, still go to the gate. I made the mistake of staying in the lounge, waiting for the app to tell me when it was boarding, and I was right across from the gate. It said boarding, so I went, and it was a mistake. The flight had actually boarded, fully closed, and I was looking at my plane, and I had to route.
So what happens when the points guy makes that error?
I know, right? It can happen to anyone. Just be really nice to the agents, because technically you're a no-show. Technically they say, well, you should have went to the gate regardless. So I'm telling America, go to the gate regardless of what the app says. Because sometimes
they gave you a break, didn't they?
You'd be shocked, actually. In the end, it did work out, but I was in Vegas. I had to go to LA, beg, borrow, and steal. But of course, I got home.
Your mistake for our benefit.
Yes,
we learned from
you. And be nice. And the points.me idea, that's what I'm doing next. Okay, we're all about to have the time of our lives because Sam is here with our play of the day.
Yeah, there you go, Michael. There you go. I'm telling you guys, this is something, because when Lon and Chris decided they were going to pick their first dance for their big wedding reception, they went iconic movie big. So big that no one could expect this to hit. Check out the happy couple dancing to look at that, to the Time of My Life from the Dirty Dancing soundtrack theme right there. Their guests and we are all blown away. But you can't stop here. You have to try the big move. They took it up a notch, a whole nother candy. They landed it. It is beautiful. Where's my paddle? I need to give them a 10, 10, 10. That iconic look made famous, that lift by Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey. So how do you make this work? They said they hired a coach to teach them how the moves are, and then to get over the fear of dancing in public, they danced in public. So they went in like lobbies and malls, and they danced in front of people. Can you imagine that?
I want to see that video.
That's how to have the time of your life at a wedding.
I'm so worried. I was like, don't drop your new
Congrats to them. Thank you, Sam. And coming up, we've got Style 911 with expert advice to help you find the perfect bra.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. A wildfire emergency in Southern California. The mountain fire exploding in size, over 200 structures destroyed or damaged, thousands more at risk, and more than 14,000 people under evacuation orders.
The latest on the Menendez brothers. A new district attorney now set to take over before their resentencing hearing next month.
Style 911, how to know if it's time to ditch the bras in your closet right now and finding the best new one, from support to style and fit. And the colder weather also means cold and flu season here. This morning we are breaking down why the FDA has now a proposal to remove an active ingredient from popular nasal decongestants.
First, look at the top stories breaking at 8. We start with the wildfire emergency in Southern California. The fire exploded to more than 20,000 acres. More than 200 homes and buildings have been damaged or destroyed. Thousands of people ordered to evacuate. I want to go back to our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, in the fire zone in Ventura County. Good morning, Matt.
George, good morning. The only way to really grapple with the scale of the devastation in this neighborhood is to drive through it. And these houses incinerated like matchsticks, one after the other on this street. And it happened so quickly that at one point, firefighters realized they could not save the homes anymore, and they had to focus solely on saving human lives. And it worked. No fatalities reported so far.
This morning, Ventura County under a state of emergency as the so-called mountain fire west of Los Angeles exploded in size.
The fire is still very dangerous. The winds have not completely deceased.
The mountain fire growing to over 20,000 acres in just 36 hours. Lower winds late Thursday allowing firefighters and fleets of helicopters to pour resources on hotspots.
You see this helicopter trying to put out that spot fire. It is flying incredibly low, just about 30 or 40 feet off the deck, and it's being buffeted by the wind. They're trying to help out the hundreds of firefighters on the ground here in Ventura County, California. The embers are flying. Weather conditions, however, are expected to improve here.
But at one point early on, the fire turbocharged by hurricane-force Santa Ana winds, burning 2,000 acres an hour.
It's like trying to put out a blowtorch with a squirt gun.
Reports of people trapped inundating police scanners.
I'm up here with them, trying to get them out, but it's heavily impacted by fire at this time.
We're going to have numerous fatalities in here if we don't have companies engaged.
Over 200 structures, mostly homes, destroyed or damaged, thousands more at risk. And more than 14,000 people under evacuation orders. Thursday, residents like 81-year-old Jan trying to salvage something from the ashes. She and her husband had spent over 60 years in what had been a 3-story home.
My husband is blind, and I'm responsible for him. So all I wanted to think was get him in the car, get him out, and I just was in action. I mean, I haven't cried yet.
So many people grappling with the loss. The person who lived in this house had lost her home in the Paradise Fire in Northern California 6 years ago. Now she says she doesn't know where she'll go. Firefighters tell us that the winds have laid down. There's been no forward progress. This fire is still under investigation, Michael.
Our thoughts are with everybody who's going through that, Matt. Thank you so much for bringing that to us. And now to the Menendez brothers. The Los Angeles DA who recommended resentencing the convicted killers just lost his re-election bid. And the incoming DA could have different views about the case. Mola Lenge is in Los Angeles with more for us. Good morning, Mola.
Well, good morning, Michael. Yeah, with the Menendez brothers' fate hanging in the balance this morning, it's unclear what LA's new district attorney will do if given the opportunity with this infamous case.
This morning, uncertainty in the case of Lyle and Eric Menendez, a new district attorney now set to take over before their resentencing hearing next month.
We're going to look at just two things in making criminal justice decisions: the facts and the law.
Former federal prosecutor Nathan Hochman will be the next Los Angeles DA, unseating George Gascon, who has been recommending a resentencing for the brothers, a step that could lead to their release. The brothers have spent 35 years in prison for the 1989 murder of their parents. Their sentence, 2 consecutive life terms without parole. The case growing more high profile in recent months, even actor Rob Lowe adding his 2 cents to the DA race.
Also a man who will protect us and our families and prioritize us over the Menendez brothers.
Incoming DA Hochman says he'll thoroughly review the case.
The same methodology that I would approach the Menendez case is how I would approach all cases.
There are 3 paths to freedom for the Menendez brothers. Gascon's clemency letter to the governor, who could decide to commute their sentence or grant a pardon. A habeas corpus petition for a review of new evidence, including accusations they were abused by their father, not presented at their last trial. And finally, the possibility of resentencing.
This is already before the judge, and the only person who can make a determination is the judge. The DA can strictly make a recommendation.
Now, Hochman has said he will thoroughly review the case if it lands on his desk after December 2nd. That's when he's expected to take office. And at that point, he could make his recommendation to the judge, Rebecca.
All right, Mola, thank you. We turn now to college football. So many big matchups this weekend, but none bigger than number 11 Alabama taking on number 15 LSU. ESPN correspondent Jess Sims joins us live from the LSU campus in Baton Rouge with a preview of College Game Day. It's a big one ahead. Good morning, Jess.
Good morning, Rebecca. So from Happy Valley, Penn State last week to Death Valley, LSU this week, life happens fast on College game day. There is certainly never a dull moment. But as you mentioned, we are here to kick off an enormous matchup between number 11 Alabama and number 15 LSU. So starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN College game day, the show is packed. We have 2 celebrity guest pickers. We have LSU gymnast Livy Dunn, as well as Major League superstar rookie Paul Skeens. Now, right after our conversation today, I actually get to go meet Mike the 7th, who you might think is a man, but it's actually a live tiger. So please say a prayer. That will also be on the show.
All right. We look forward to that. But there are so many stakes here, such high stakes. Both teams trying to keep their college football playoff dreams alive.
Yeah, so essentially this is an elimination game. So both powerhouse programs are 6-2. So unfortunately it would seal their fate and not allow them to play in the official first ever 12-team football college playoff. And if they do win, it keeps their hope alive. A key to note, though, Rebecca, is that LSU is 13-0 in night games under Brian Kelly in the last 3 years. So that's just a testament to how electric Tiger Stadium actually is, and it really lives up to the mantra, where opponents' dreams come to die.
What a great mantra to have at your school. Jess, there's also another huge matchup that comes right before this game.
Yes, right before this game, the Bulldogs are really hoping that their quarterback, Carson Beck, can turn around his turnovers. He's had 12 in the last 5 games, which of course is not ideal against any opponent, Rebecca, but especially not against Ole Miss Rebels. They are number 1 in sacks so far this season. They have 42 and counting, and alone just 18 in the last 2 games. So the pressure is going to be literally and figuratively on Carson Beck in what is sure to be a back-and-forth thriller. So definitely don't forget the lineup is stacked tomorrow. We have 9 a.m. Eastern College game day on ESPN, followed by 12:30. We have Georgia at Ole Miss, 3:30 p.m. on ABC and ESPN+. Last but not least, where we are right here in Baton Rouge, we have Alabama at LSU, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, ABC and ESPN+. Guys.
Thank you, Jess. And of course, Jess meets a live tiger somewhere in that lineup as well. Thank you.
Coming up in our GMA morning menu, why the FDA wants to remove an active ingredient from nasal decongestants, what it means for the medicine you may have at home.
Also ahead, Style 911 offering support in finding the perfect fitting bra for you.
Plus, 2 stars of Mufasa, the Lion King. Join us live from Disney's Animal Kingdom with an exclusive first look at the new trailer for the movie. They are as excited as we are. Sam's with Lori B. What's up, Sam?
Michael, don't blame us. We know it's early, but it is the most wonderful time of the year, and you got to get a jump start on your Christmas tree shopping. Lori B. We have the right stuff.
Yes, we do.
We'll even give you the best on artificial trees, and there's a real tree surprise.
There is.
Coming up on GMA. We'll be right back.
We are back with our GMA cover story, the FDA proposal to remove an active ingredient from nasal decongestants. Ariel Reshef back with the details. Hello, Ariel.
Hey there, George. Good morning again. And as we hit cold and flu season, you may be tempted to reach for a popular over-the-counter decongestant, but the FDA says not so fast. A panel of experts is now proposing to remove oral phenylephrine as an active ingredient in medications like Sudafed PE, Dayquil, some forms of Mucinex, and Tylenol cold and flu, saying it just simply doesn't work for solving that stuffy nose. The FDA has said that this ingredient's not dangerous and is just ineffective, and other ingredients in these medications can still help address other symptoms like aches, fever, and cough. And a better alternative for congestion could be nasal spray or drops. For now, this is just a proposed order, so companies can continue to market and sell these products. The FDA is now inviting public comment, and after that, researchers could issue a final order, which would mean that these medications can no longer contain this ingredient at all. In the meantime, the bottom line here, experts say you don't have to toss out that over-the-counter decongestant that may be in your cabinet, but you may not want to buy any more of it, and speak to your doctor about a prescription if your congestion is not improving. Guys.
Thank you, Ariel. Wow. Michael?
Sam goes, wow. I like that. Okay, thank you, Sam. That was a wow moment. We're going to go now to the holiday beverage battle. Move over pumpkin spice, because stores are rolling out creative new drinks for the season, and they are ready to throw down for your dollars. Morgan Norwood has the story for us. Good morning, Morgan.
Hey, good morning to you, Michael. Look, the air is brisk. The Christmas carols, they are in full rotation, and suddenly we all need a little bit of holiday joy in our cups. Look, these seasonal offerings, they are everywhere, with holiday stands sprinting into the stores and retailers saying green.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's the holiday beverage battle for your bucks. Starbucks revealing its seasonal lineup of sweet sips, which of course includes the classics, your peppermint mocha and the iced sugar cookie latte. But this year, adding 3 new drinks, a new cold foam topper, and 4 new snacks.
This is their dark bunt toffee cake.
Chloe Julian planned her day around this drop, getting up an hour early so she could be one of the first in line to get her holiday favorite and try something new.
It was a tradition my mom and I would do when I was younger. It's finally the holiday season. It's time to celebrate.
But Starbucks aren't the only ones cashing in on these holiday hauls. Last week, the day after Halloween, it was out with the booze and in with the brews. Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf revealing 5 new drinks.
10 out of 10.
And Dunkin' adding a new holiday cookie latte and 2 new snacks.
This is really good. This is so good.
This winter shimmer blended Rebel from Dutch Bros already shaping up to be a seasonal stunner.
It's like super creamy.
So what's up with the flood of these festive drinks anyway? Well, it's partly fiscal. And as it did last year, retailers like Starbucks expanding its seasonal offerings to drive more visits after a dismal fourth quarter, leveraging the exposure from TikTok tastemakers like Chloe.
We're looking at billions of dollars generated for these companies for the holiday season alone, and really capitalizing on that holiday spirit that customers really get into.
And many of these coffee shops, they aren't immune to what we call the Christmas creep either. So if you're seeing the holiday menu earlier, experts say customers are actually demanding these limited edition treats sooner, and the stores are simply giving them what they want. And suddenly, I need to make a coffee run, guys.
Make sure you get our order before you do, Morgan. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're going now to our series Style 911, and this morning GMA lifestyle contributor Lori Bergamatto is solving the bra battle. A big battle.
A big battle.
Good morning, Lori.
Good morning, Rebecca. That's right. It's the age-old issue of getting the right support. And a big question, did you buy your bra over a year ago? Well, according to experts, it is time for a new one. Take a look.
May I adjust your strap? Because I'm trying to help you, Claire. You say be more helpful, and I'm trying to be helpful. Tighten the strap. Okay. Just a little.
From the band to the cup size, it can be daunting to find the best fit. A lifetime of problems. And that's why we've enlisted intimate apparel expert Laura Burke. Laura's helped more than 600 clients, and she's here to help everyone find the right lift. One issue she sees all the time, our cups runneth over.
Yadi, what brings you in here today?
I feel like I have to be very careful about how I move because I constantly feel the spillage. As you can see, it's going over.
Okay, Laura, what did we fix here?
So the most important thing that we did here was we went up in the cup. As you can see now, all of the breast tissue is fully encapsulated into the cup. You have a beautiful lift here. We actually didn't change your band size. Another thing was adding seams to your life, the shape that it can provide.
So seams are okay.
Seams are our friend.
And as our bodies change with motherhood, our bras will need to change too.
Nicole, what kind of problems are you having with your bra?
So I just had a baby. I'm about 7 months postpartum. No matter what bra I put on, I'm finding bands riding up the back, and I also need it to be supportive.
If the band is riding up the back, it sounds like the band is too large. Okay, so we want the band to always stay anchored on the body. If it's riding up the back, we call it the seesaw effect, and the boobs go down, right? So we want this to be anchored on the body. We want about a half an inch to inch of resistance. This is really important to know. The lift comes from the band, not the straps. The band doing about 80-90% of the job, and the straps doing about 10 to 20% of the job.
And like Kathy from New York, many women are confronting the reality of their breast shape changing as they get older, requiring them to reconsider style and fit.
Kathy, what kind of problems are you having with your bras right now?
I would just say uncertainty.
One of the things that happens as we age is we lose a lot of the volume on the top of our breasts, and it becomes more pendulous and a little bit fuller on the bottom. And sometimes it's hard to fill out more of a structured or a contour cup. So what I did for you is I put you in bras that have more of an elasticized top of cup right here. And it really just sticks better against the body, and it provides a really nice shape. How do you feel?
I feel great. I can open up my drawer and know whatever bra I pick out is going to look good and feel good with no matter what top I have on.
Well, you look fabulous.
She really does.
She really does. And all the ladies looked fabulous, and they felt that the fitting really changed their entire approach to dressing and their self-confidence. So if you can get a professional fitting, and Laura, our expert there, she does offer virtual appointments, you guys, you should get one. And if you aren't able to, well, Rebecca, I have good news. We have a cheat sheet for you right here.
You're solving our problems,
That's
Lori.
right. So these are some of the bras that we talked about in the piece. I wanted to go into a little more detail and tell you what Laura told us about them. This one is a minimizer. So if you have that problem where you do feel like there's some spilling out of your cups, this one, the low price belies the high quality. It is just $24.99. We found it on Amazon. It's from a brand called HSIA, super well reviewed. We would have never found it had our expert not shown us. But what she loves about this is the comfortable underwire. So it's wrapped in like a plush cotton, because a lot of times there's a heaviness and people are uncomfortable. So everyone loved how comfortable that was and how much support it gave them.
And it looks like some nice colors too.
Exactly. There's so many colors. And let me tell you, the sizing on that's 34C to 46 triple D. This one, the size is 32B to 42G. This is a nursing bra. So really great if you're in that sort of postpartum cocoon of your nursing, but you also want to go out of the house. You know, I think those first early days, you're just kind of home. It doesn't really matter. But then a couple weeks in, you're like, I'm ready to emerge.
I need to get out.
I need to get out. But you're also nursing. You don't want to keep switching your bras. You need that comfort. You need that convenience. So what we loved about this one, which we got at Bare Necessities, this has a snap down closure that you can do with one hand. So if you're holding your baby with one hand, you're able to still nurse with the other hand. A lot of comfort, a lot of convenience, and what everybody else loved about it is that support that you're getting. It's made by a brand called Miss Anita, and it's fantastic. Comes in a bunch of different neutral colors. Fantastic if you just had a baby.
You just want to feel good at that moment. You want to feel comfortable, and you want to be able to emerge in the real world.
Exactly, and not feel like, you know, any kind of way. That will let you feel like a human again. We have. And then finally, if you are aging, and even if you're not, if you have a problem where there's that pendulum effect and you feel like you're losing volume from the top, Laura, our expert, recommended finding a bra that has this elastic on the top. This is from Chantel. We got this from Nordstrom. That's going to help you with that volume. And the other great thing about this is because we got this at Nordstrom, if you can get to a retail store there, you can also get a free fitting there as well. So lots of really great options for everybody to feel their best and look their best.
Thank you,
Thank
Lori.
you.
We really appreciate it. And all of these bras are shoppable. You just scan the QR code on the screen or visit our website, goodmorningamerica.com. Coming up, we have an exclusive first look at the new trailer for Mufasa, The Lion King, and two of the movie stars joining us live.
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
Welcome back, everybody. It is time for Pop News with Sam Champion. What you got?
Well, it's not just me, it's a team, Michael, and I learned so much this morning about pop news, and I'm going to share some with you. Let's begin this morning with Moana 2. And when I think of Moana, I think of music now, and you will too. Here's why. Now we have the first song released from the All-Star soundtrack. It's called Beyond. Check it out.
What lies beyond?
Beyond will be the track for the end credits, and according to the studio, the song perfectly captures Moana's fearless sense of adventure. I think it does. And that's just a taste of what's to come. Moana 2 is already on track. Here's the buzz for a record-shattering opening weekend, with The Hollywood Reporter saying that the movie is expected to open with an astounding $130 million at the box office. Wow. And one of the stars films, I think who does it really, who is a big draw, Dwayne Johnson, will be here on Monday to tell us all about it. Moana 2 hits theaters Thanksgiving.
I'm looking forward to hearing that song on repeat, probably 1,000 times in a row in our home. Yeah, exactly. The next few years.
Yeah, for years, there's no doubt. Hey, speaking of Thanksgiving, and this is something else I learned. I normally don't talk about Christmas yet, but we're going to today. Why? Because Cher said so. The singer is celebrating the season by releasing a new remix to her song DJ, Play a Christmas Song. And this time, if I say, what's the
Hey, Mr.
talking,
DJ?
No, the talking thing in the house that everybody, Alexa, play a Christmas song. Is that bad for you now? This time, Kelly Clarkson is a part of it. It just dropped at midnight. I've been playing it all morning. Take a listen.
DJ, play a Christmas song. I wanna be dancing all night long. It's cold outside, but it's warm in here, and that's the only thing I want.
Unsa. Cher knows her way around a remix, by the way.
Nothing like Christmas like a unsa.
I know. Michael, we're going to make those tree lights flash. The song helped Cher make history last year when it landed her back on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. And not to be outdone, the reigning queen of Christmas herself, Mariah Carey, is already spreading her holiday cheer. The Christmas concert tour kicked off in Highland, California on Wednesday. Now, the show includes 19-song set with 4 costume changes. And trust me, that's light for Mariah. She changes 4 times going down the escalator. And the Hollywood Bowl tonight is her concert. 47 days until Christmas, guys. Just 47.
That talking thing in the house? Remind me not to play $100,000 pyramids.
Yeah. Sam's not the guy. He's not the guy. He said, did I don't know how good of a partner you'd be,
Did
Sam.
I just get booted off the show, Michael? Finally.
George didn't give an endorsement for you, I'll say that.
Finally this morning, calling all celebrity doppelgangers. It's your time to shine right now. Just last month, Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest here in New York City. It went viral. Of course it did, especially after the Oscar nominee himself showed up to the contest in the delight of the fans in Washington Square Park. And last night, just hours before the Ireland premiere of Gladiator 2, I have been told not to say Paul Mescal now because I've been told it's Paul Mescal, so I learned this. Lookalikes gathered in Dublin for their own contest where the winner took home a check to be used for 3 pints of beer. Can't use it any other way. Paul couldn't show up because he was getting a hero's welcome here at his alma mater in Dublin College. Also, a Harry Styles lookalike contest is being planned. Do you look like Harry? It's in London this Saturday. You might call it the golden age of lookalike contest because his song is golden. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a stab at pop news. I apologize. Oh no! Wait.
There's
more? Oh, I've got one more photo for you to see this morning. Did I know about this? I didn't know about this.
Oh my goodness.
Rebecca's husband, Matt, who comes from a family. Rebecca, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And now I hope we're doing okay.
He's going to be here, and he definitely
from
doesn't
a
know
family
that
of
it's going to be here.
Christmas tree farmers.
Yeah, believe it or not, Matt's family, Christmas tree farmers. His grandfather, Howard Pierce, delivered a tree, George, you'll like this, to the White House.
Wow.
That's LBJ's White House, 1966. There is LBJ standing in front of the decorated tree. And
that's gorgeous.
And the reason we're even sharing this morning is because Lori Bergamatto is coming back with synthetic Christmas trees, which I know, by the way, thank you, Cindy, my mother-in-law, for sharing those pictures. Yeah. I know the Hansons probably, they'll be watching this segment, but there's some pretty strong views on real versus synthetic, but synthetic can be great too.
Yeah.
And Lori did the research.
I've done both.
Yeah. I've learned so much. This pop news.
We are back with the right stuff, and the countdown to the holidays is on. Christmas is less than 7 weeks away, and it is the perfect time to upgrade your holiday tree. GMA lifestyle contributor Lori B is back with some great picks for every home and style, and you can buy them all through our website. Welcome back, Lori.
Thank you for having me.
And we begin with an artificial tree that looks
pretty real in person.
Right?
Good. So I have to tell you, when we first came on set, somebody said to me, "Oh, I thought you were doing artificial trees." When they looked at this one,
that's
how realistic this
Look how
Balsam
full it is,
Hill.
all the way in the middle.
It's really full. So this is the Balsam Hill Blue Spruce. It's one of their best sellers. You guys probably recognize that name. It is a retail leader in this space. And what people love about this one in particular is the blue spruce has that sort of blue-green hue. It has upswept branches that really mimic the actual blue spruce, which is, I learned while doing this segment, the state tree of Colorado.
I'm sure you knew that as having a Christmas tree farm in the family.
Yes, I know. I feel like now I'm really nervous.
I actually know nothing, but thank you.
These range in size from 4.5 feet all the way on up. This is 7.5 foot. It goes to 10 feet. Really lifelike, really beautiful, and really easy to set up, which I think is extremely key when you have an artificial tree.
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys, this is from Grandin Road. These are flocked trees. Do either of you guys have flocked trees at home?
I do not, but I love them. I just didn't know where to get them.
So about 4 years ago, we saw a huge uptick in people buying flocked trees.
They're
so it
beautiful.
gives it that frosted, sort of just in from
Gentle
the snowy
snow.
woods. Yes, that look. Now these from Grandin Road, you can see they're nice and slim. They would be great for a small space. They would also be great for hallways, entryways. If you do have a larger home, but you want something.
A city apartment.
Yes.
This is so great.
Right, and these go all the way from 2.5 up to 15 feet. So you can buy a few. We love the way that they look. When Grandin Road shows them, they show them kind of clustered.
Yeah.
And it really is so elegant. They come lit. I should also mention that Balsam Hill, you can get it lit. We chose unlit because sometimes you want the freedom to put your own lights on. So whatever your choice, there is something for everyone today.
Oh, and by the way, something for everyone.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so
Look
as I
at
mentioned,
you.
less than 5 years ago, we saw the uptick in flocked trees. This was in the last 2 years that we've seen this huge upswing in pink trees. It has that glam look. Retro. People are really opting to have a little bit of fun. I think we all need an injection of fun.
I
in
know.
our lives.
I can see the flamingo decorations on here.
Yes,
I can Florida this right up.
This is Miami tree right
yes,
here.
I know who's taking this one home today. And what we love about these is, well, we got them on Amazon. They're really affordable. They start around $50, $60. And what's so fun about them is they're already lit, and you don't really even need to do much. You know what I mean? Like it's an impact.
No, you could just leave this, or you could go big.
do a lot.
Right.
Or you could do a lot. Maximalist. We love that. And
Okay.
let me
We've
talk
got the
about this
babies.
last one. Okay, so this one, you guys, is actually a real tree. We found this one at Williams-Sonoma, and they get it from a Portland, Oregon family-owned farm, and it ships directly to you. If you want something, this is a great gift. It's $75. Fantastic to give to somebody for a small space. And the other thing I love about this is that you can take these and plant them outside, and they can grow up to 8 feet. How much do you love that?
I love this as a gift because you can decorate it just for them, and then they can plant it at the house.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
I know what I'm getting you, Sam. Thank you, Lori. We
Thank you,
really
guys.
appreciate it. And you can go right to our website to shop these trees.
Take a look now at women in the workforce and the growing number of women choosing trade school over college. Ariel Reschet back for the third time today with the story. Hey, Ariel.
Get your money's worth, George. Gen Z is being called the tool belt generation, and now an increasing number of women are entering the workforce by rolling up their sleeves and becoming electricians, mechanics, truck drivers, and farmers. It comes as college debt hits an all-time high, more than $1.7 trillion. We spoke to several women who told us that they're reaping the benefits of taking a different path.
Move over, 4-year college. Many young women are turning down that traditional degree for trade school, pursuing the promise of up to 6-figure salaries as electricians and car mechanics. 34-year-old Shauna Irving always thought she'd be a veterinarian, but the burden of student loan debt was too intimidating.
I thought to myself, I don't think I want that for myself.
Vocational school enrollment up 16% last year, getting a boost from Gen Z, dubbed the tool belt generation, with a growing number of young women part of that trend. According to the Department of Labor, 11.6% of those who completed apprenticeship programs in 2020 were female. Inspired by her dad, who works in construction, Shauna is an electrician for local union number 3 in New York City, making $62 an hour. She's also president of the union's women's club.
I'm absolutely thrilled that I am still within this industry. I love what I do.
39-year-old Ace Jones is enrolled at Bidwell Training Center in Pittsburgh, learning medical coding and billing. Trade school was attractive because her program is free and includes assistance with job placement. Extra helpful since her husband is deployed with the Marines and about to retire.
I figured I'd fill in that gap and kind of help them transition by getting back in the workforce.
And back to Shauna, she tells us that she's seeing more and more women getting involved on the job site. Experts say social media has made a big difference here, making the trade industry more accessible by offering a real-time visual window into this work. A lot of these women say it's so fulfilling to actually sink their teeth into building the community, literally with their hands.
Yeah, a lot of great opportunities out there. Thanks, Ariel.
Sure.
Coming up, 2 of the stars from Mufasa, The Lion King, join us live with an exclusive first look at the new trailer. And we are back now with two of the stars of Mufasa, the Lion King. They join us live from Disney's Animal Kingdom. Kelvin Harrison Jr., who voices Taka, Tiffany Boone, who voices Sarabi. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. And Kelvin, you grew up with Mufasa, the Lion King.
Yes, I did. I was so excited because it came out in 1994, June 24th. I was born July 23rd, 1994. That's 29 days later, if my math is correct. So I technically am Simba. My dad is Mufasa.
and Tiffany, you were also a young child when the original movie came out. So what's your relationship with the original?
Yeah, I was obsessed with it. I actually think I wore out the VHS. My mother was tired of playing it over and over and over for me. So, yes, that long ago. So, yeah, I'm just so excited to be a part of it. It's a dream come true.
All right, so let's not keep anybody waiting because I know everybody wants to see it. And I think we have a very high-tech setup there from what I've understood. You're going to push this big high-tech button, and when you hit that button, we're going to see a sneak peek of the new trailer for Mufasa, the Lion King. Are you guys ready to do the button push? Hit that button.
Absolutely. Are you ready? 3,
as ready as I'm going to be. 2,
1.
It's time I tell you a story about two brothers who set off to find a new home and a new family.
Why are you following us?
I was hoping to find my pride.
My name is Mufasa.
I'm Sarabi.
My name is Taka. He's going to start a new kingdom. Come with us. You don't have anyone.
She does indeed have someone.
That's Zazu. Don't eat him.
You heard her. Do not eat me. Stand down. I am highly trained and occasionally effective.
Rated PG.
Oh, wow, you guys, the excitement is building here. Tiffany, this is going to be your first animated film. How was it to do that?
It was a little nerve-wracking to have my first animated film be The Lion King, but once we got in the booth and we got to play together, it was amazing. So fun to work with Barry and each other, and yeah, it was incredible.
And Kelvin, what was it like to have Lin-Manuel Miranda in the recording booth when you're singing your song?
So I'm a super fan, so I looked up all the YouTube videos of all the OGs doing their songs. Like when I saw, all the Disney princesses and the music directors and the creators were in the room with them. So I was like, Lin, I need you in the room with me. And I was perched up on my stool like a lion. He was right there. We shared a moment. I roared, he roared. It was beautiful.
Kelvin, I tell you what, the energy you're bringing, man, I love it. I absolutely love it. And you say you're a super fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda, but you're also a super fan of Disney. You go to Disneyland every year for your birthday. Now you're there. You're with Tiffany. What advice do you have to give her? Where are you taking her since you know the park inside and out?
I'm gonna tell Tiffany my secrets to being a successful Disney super fan, a Disney adult, some call it. But we definitely gonna hit up Avatar. It's the smells, it's the aromas. You know what? We're gonna hit up Tron. We're gonna eat well.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna take good care of Miss Tiffany.
Thank you. Thank you.
Don't worry.
Oh, you guys are so much fun this morning. We cannot wait to see the movie. Now we've seen another trailer. Thank you for joining us. Mufasa the Lion King will be in theaters on December 20th.
We want to thank you for watching us on this Friday morning.
Have a great weekend. So long.
Yeah.